Hi everyone. I'm having a little bit of a better day today health-wise, so I figured I would make several videos and try to get them uploaded throughout the week and before I start getting slammed with pain again. So this video I want to make about painting and art and creating, whether it's art, painting art, or on canvas or watercolors or acrylics or abstract art, or whatever it is that's your medium, or making jewelry, or doing crafting, or woodworking. I'm talking about artists, cooking, homemaking, everything that you can think of. So I want to just express my feelings about all of this. It's just my feelings, and I hope it helps somebody out there, but it doesn't mean that it's the way it is for everybody. For me, art is a necessary part of communing with God. And it's a different kind of communing with God than uh, going to church, but at the same time, it's similar. It's not the same thing as going to church, obviously, but there's still a holiness to it for me. And when I was in the New Age, it was still the same thing for me, but I just didn't realize that I wasn't actually worshiping Jesus Christ. Well, I guess I did realize that at some point, but I did know, I was aware that I wasn't in some ways. I found out later that it was more of a New Age Christ, but that's a different story, and my testimony is on my channel. I'm probably going to make a new one of those, by the way. But anyway, art for me is something that God just tells me to do, and I believe that it adds beauty to the world. And I decided to do this video by the window. It's raining today, but next to nature, because as we appreciate nature, we can appreciate artists and music, and music is a big one for me, but whatever it is that brings us to a place of communion with God. But there's a difference between communing with God in the New Age or the Luciferianism religions, and there's a difference between that and actually doing something that God tells you to do. And how do you know the difference? I guess for me, I know the difference because it's sort of like an overall peace that's so radiant and wonderful. Is a peace that surpasses all peace, which is Jesus Christ. And some people have mentioned that to me lately. Like, they've said, like, you look peaceful. Um, that is because of Jesus Christ. But in the knowing of Jesus Christ, I knew that I was an artist even more. It's interesting, it's like sometimes when people become followers of Jesus Christ, sometimes they give up their art and their music because they feel like they can't do both. I don't know how I would do that, unless God told me to, of course. But for me, it's one and the same. And more as I get older, I find myself really clinging to that and really clinging to the truth about Jesus Christ. And many people would say, well, this video is about art, then why are you talking about Jesus Christ? Because I feel like there is no difference here. And so more and more I've been sharing my love for Jesus Christ on my fan page and Instagram and personal Facebook. And I notice sometimes when I do that people just drop away. That's okay. I know God will take care of it all, because I have been faced and I have seen evil face to face. I know it exists. I know that Satan exists, and I know that Jesus is the truth, the way, and the life, and the light, and the true light, and everything to us. So when God tells me to create art, which I do, it's dedicated to God. I made a video like this before about my art being dedicated to God, but I felt a desire that I needed to make another one and say that if you are becoming a follower of Jesus just recently, and you came from Buddhism or the New Age, and you're a creative person, or even just even if you're not an artist, even if you just don't know where your place is anymore. That's basically what this video is about, because when I came out of Reiki and I came out of the New Age practices, I actually didn't know, and I still have that problem sometimes. Like, I actually didn't know where I was supposed to be, like who I was. Like, my identity was just falling away. And then I, you know, got very sick. So that compounded onto that, and it just added up layer after layer after layer, until I finally said to myself one day, and even last week I said to myself, is there anything left of me? Like, God has stripped me of everything. The way that I dress has changed. My hair really is a complete mess all the time. It falls out all the time, and my health is deteriorated. And so, I felt like my beauty was gone. I felt like everything was gone. And then I started feeling like it was chipping away at my art. And I was like, oh no, you can't do that. You can't chip away at my art. But then I realized that God wasn't chipping away at anything. He was just making a new creation. And I remember all the times that I sent out, when I was in the New Age too, my emails to people and said, look at my new creations. That's what I call my jewelry and my art creations, which I have some here today. Beautiful. This is a lapis bracelet I made last night, and a citrine. I love gemstones. And I'm making these new bracelets with essential oil, lava rocks to put essential oils in, and gemstones. And anyway, just a side note, you can visit my Etsy shop if you want to see the creations. I will put the link here. I never do that, but I will put the link here if you want to see them. I started to, I lost my train of thought here. I'm so sorry. I guess I was saying that I thought that God was, trying to chip away at that. And then I realized that in all of these creations that I called new creations, I was becoming one myself. And I suddenly felt more, and that's how I feel now. Like, I feel more whole and confident and okay with who I am than I ever have before. And I don't think it's just because I'm getting older. I do think it has a lot to do with the peace of Jesus Christ. So I just wanted to share all those feelings today. And yes, that was my point, that all of these new creations that I make, and my paintings too, especially my paintings, I guess I was just trying to say that I would call them new creations. It's Tagger's Eye. I would call them new creations, and yet I guess I didn't realize that God was actually making me a new creation at the same time. So it's not always easy, but whenever I have a better day, I like to show the joy, because in a walk with Jesus Christ, in the walk of anywhere in this world, on this earth, as human beings, every day is not joyful. We know that, and there's a lot of suffering, and I'm not gonna lie, I go through a lot of suffering. However, I just want to share the joy that I do have on those days. And if you're struggling with being a follower of Jesus Christ and still, playing your music or doing your art or doing what you like to do, and you feel like you're just like falling apart as a person because you don't know what's left of you, and it's like a mourning and sadness, well, I completely understand. It's a very difficult process, but in the end, you are a new creation, literally, and you feel that joy, and it's a different peace and joy than anything I can explain, and it's the best in the world. So it's like you're a child again. I think that's the best way to explain it, and you're just giddy with happiness, like you just feel it in your heart. So yeah, just wanted to share that. I hope you guys have a peaceful, wonderful, joyful day.